Hi, folks. I am back with another movie review tonight. Yeah, I know. I'm back. I decided to come back and do another one, and because I want to talk about a very special movie tonight. But first, I got to dedicate this to Kerosene like I always do. Always for you, hun. Always for you. Okay, let's talk about the movie we're going to talk about tonight. Hey, as I mentioned a few nights ago, we're going to start it tonight. We're going to start doing movie clips. A little bit of it's tiny little movie clips about the movie that I'm actually reviewing this particular every time I do one of these webcasts. And so first, we're going to talk about what movie we review tonight. We're going to talk about the 1987 Hellraiser movie. Yeah, Clive Barker's classic uh, beginning intro when his opening salvo into the world of horror, basically with Pinhead and the seven Cenobites. So here is recently I just acquired a double feature Blu-ray. I can't remember if I bought this from eBay or Amazon. Does it really make a difference, does it? I think it might have come from eBay. Anyway, it's a double feature. There's the it's actually two discs, and it basically so you don't have to worry about scuffing each side. You got the artwork on one disc, and then the movie on the other side, and then vice versa. So you got two discs all together. So there is the cover. That's not too bad. It's kind of cool looking. That's Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 2, of course, Blu-ray. There's the back cover. Yeah, good. So anyway, we're going to talk about this. Now, Clive Barker started this franchise back in 1987. I'm not sure if he directed number two, Hellbound, but I know for a fact that he did this one. He's the writer, director. The loony behind. I shouldn't say loony. You'll probably kill me. I mean, he's the genius behind the Hellraiser series movies. That's his visions. He's kind of like the H.R. Geiger of horror. H.R. Geiger, of course, is the master of sci-fi, Alien and all that kind of stuff. Of course, Clive Barker is the master of horror. So, I kind of like Clive Barker. He's got this weird, dark, hellish vision in his movies. His mind is, I could be his friend. Anyway, uh, this movie basically, like I said, 1987. I think it's a pretty darn good movie. It's now, folks. These movies are very gory. They're very disturbing. They're very creepy. They're incredibly bloody. So if you've never seen a Hellraiser movie, especially the first couple, I would recommend you don't see these movies because they're pretty disgusting, man. They're well written. Stuff like that. They have actually, let's show a clip. Let's show the beginning clip. We're gonna do this right now because I got this. I got this idea. Now, see, check this out. Let me get positioned here because I want you to see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, this is basically the opening sequence, Clive Barker's Hellraiser. And it gives you all the different stars and everything. It's a pretty decent looking Blu-ray. For 1987 ain't too bad. We're talking 30 years ago, but still, it's not. It's kind of a cool movie actually. I'm just going to sit here and look like an idiot, and you kind of can look at the screen right there. If I can point right there. There's that music. Y'all are very familiar with that music. We're going to be refining this video clip thing I got going here starting tonight, and I got some ideas for to bring the monitor closer, maybe a picture-in-picture and stuff like that. But here's a opening sequence. They're going through all the beginning credits and everything, and I kind of like the music in these movies, man. This music is very eerie, very creepy, and very dramatic, and I just love it. But it's not everybody's cup of tea, folks. Okay, let's just watch this. Okay, there we go. The opening sequence really tells what the movie's all about. Frank, a complete sleazeball, basically buys this box. He's at this market buying a box, the puzzle box from a vendor or something. I don't know if it's over. See? Ah, what a fool. He has no idea what he's getting into. I think he has an idea that this basically has some kind of powers, so that's why he's buying it. What an idiot. Oh, he just let himself in for a world of hurt, boys and girls. Okay, we'll just forget about this clip now. You know, we don't have. Oh, let's watch his opening. This is where he's up in his house, in his attic, trying to open the puzzle box, surrounded by candles and everything. There we go. Of course, this is a huge mistake because he's basically going to get ripped apart by Pinhead and the Cenobites because he's going to open the gates of hell. Yeah, this is so stupid, man. Oh, you idiot. You have no idea. Of course, maybe he enjoys this kind of shit. Here we go. He's fucking with the puzzle box. I used to have one of those puzzle boxes. I should buy another one. Oh, God. He's opening the box. The Cenobites are coming. He knows something's going on. He's already crossed the threshold. He's fucked. He's screwed. He is screwed. He is screwed, folks. You're going to see what's going to happen to him. Then we're going to end the clip and talk about the movie. Here we go. You see it's starting to rotate. You know, it's opening the gates of hell for Pinhead and his buddies to come through and rip your ass apart. Oh, okay, we'll just end that one right there because I just think that's actually entertaining. What an idiot, man. What an idiot this guy was, man. Can you just imagine doing something like that, folks? Let's go back to my normal view here and talk about the idiot that just opened that box. His name is Frank. So, really, the story is based around Frank, Andrew Robinson, his brother, Clare Huggins, she plays Julie in this movie, and Ashley Laurence, of course, is the daughter of Andrew Robinson. And so what? See, Clare Huggins, Julia, Andrew Robinson's wife, was having an affair with Frank before this all happened here, that clip and everything. Before we acquired the box, basically. What a moron. What a moron. You know? And of course, he basically disappears. And of course, she has no idea. She was cheating on Andrew Robinson with Frank, of course. Frank and Andrew are brothers, blood brothers, stuff like that. So, it's so stupid. It's just like, oh. She's a complete sleazeball too, Julia, as is Frank. Frank is played by Chapman. He actually does a pretty good job. And Julia is Clare Huggins, and then of course Andrew Robinson. You'll recognize him instantly. Of course, Doug Bradley is Pinhead. We all know who Doug Bradley is. He is the original Pinhead, and he's done all these other sequels. And I love Doug Bradley. Doug Bradley is awesome as Pinhead. Of course, he used to be like, back before he got infected, he was actually screwing with that box way back during the World War I period. And he got the same thing happened to him as the idiot Frank right there. So he got basically turned into a Cenobite. Of course, he's Pinhead, and stuff like that. You all know who Pinhead is. The zillions of pins on his head. And, well, you don't even have to go into that. Oh, I love these movies. These movies are just, Clive Barker just has this really dark vision, and I really kind of like that. So let's talk about the movie. So basically what happens is Andrew Robinson and Clare Huggins, Julia, they move back into the house that was left to them by their late father, Frank and Andrew. And they move back in. Of course, they're married, Julia and Andrew. They're basically married. And they move back in. Of course, they don't realize that Frank, his guts and what's left of him is actually up in the attic where he did all this crap with the puzzle box. At the beginning of the movie, the scene you just saw. And so some of his flesh is still stuck between the floorboards, underneath the main floor of the attic, blood and guts and, stuff like that. And so what happens is, Julie has no idea that he's actually in pieces up there. She just thinks he disappeared completely. Of course, because she was his lover. Behind Andrew's back, Ooh, such a nice, solid family lady, isn't she? Hey, folks, don't you think I'm looking good tonight? We're going to break away from the movie for a minute and just talk about me. No, not really. You don't want to talk about me? Sick of talking about me? Okay, let's get back to the movie. Anyway, so what happens is Andrew Robinson, they're moving all the furniture into the house and stuff with Claire and their daughter, Ashley Laurence, and stuff like that. And he basically rips his hand on a nail, moving the mattress up to the top floor where the attic is. And of course, the blood goes squirting in, onto the floor, tons of blood. It's a little too much blood, I think. It'll make you goddamn sick. Some kind of nail rips across his front top of his one of his hands, and blood is just it basically seeps into the floorboards, and it reanimates Frank's deceased dead flesh. And so basically Frank starts to come back to life again, and he's basically reborn. He's basically sucking off all that blood and everything. And of course, nobody in the house knows what's going on up in the attic, And so he's basically been reborn, and he basically comes back, and he's just like a skinless man, that's actually Frank, and he's like he's a mere shell of the man he used to be. And of course, Clare Huggins has no idea that her lover, her skinless lover, is upstairs in the attic. Of course, she finds out. And the only way he could basically become normal looking again is by killing people. And of course, she is, fascinated by, the dark side and everything. And she just wants to know, how he came back and stuff like that. And something about the puzzle box. She wants to get involved in that. Of course, it's a huge mistake on her part, too, because she pays at the end. Pays the price at the end, folks. And, it's also, oh God, look at these muscles. Anyway, let's get back to the movie. Anyway, so he talks her into bringing dudes to the house, so he can kill them, basically. He has to take their blood, he has to take their skin, and as the whole movie progresses, he basically is getting better and better looking, he's starting to look more normal, but really not to the end where he basically gets the skin of somebody, and I'll tell you who that is. And so he kills, I don't know, she brings probably about half a dozen guys to the house, sneaks up to the attic, locks them in there with Frank, and of course Frank goes to town on them, sticking his fingers in them and sucking them dry, they're all the stuff he needs to look normal again. It's basically, the movie just really takes place in the house for the most part. There's really not too many exterior shots except for the shot of the house when people are driving up and stuff like that. It's basically an in-house horror flick. And of course, Ashley Laurence, I think that's her name. She's, Andrew Robinson's daughter. Of course, she wants to know what Claire is doing. She knows Claire's up to something because she sees him bringing all these guys into the house, and she can't figure out what the hell is going on, and because she wants Frank back in her bed again, because she's fascinated by Frank, she doesn't care if she's cheating on Andrew, her real husband, so she gets it at the end, folks. Just trust me. She gets exactly the same treatment that Frank does at the very beginning of this movie, too. That's where number 2 picks up, by the way. That's basically her story. Her name is Julie in these movies. And so the movie just keeps progressing along, and he's getting better and better, and of course, Andrew Robinson, he can't figure out his wife is she won't even, talk to him hardly at all because her lover's being reanimated up in the attic again, and stuff like that, and, it's just kind of like, it's kind of a sleazy triangle, folks. Poor Andrew Robinson, he just wants to have a normal family life, with his daughter Ashley Laurence and Julia. Of course, Julia just wants Frank, because she's fascinated by the puzzle box and what the shit he went through, being ripped apart by a pinhead in the Cenobites, and ripped down to hell, basically. The scenes, there really ain't a whole lot of scenes to talk about in this movie. It's pretty much takes place up in the attic of the house, of course. And then there's the one scene where Andrew Robinson, Frank really needs skin. He basically needs skin so he looks normal again. Complete. He has everything else: the bones, the flesh, everything. So Claire basically brings him up, and of course Frank kills him. He kills his own brother Andrew Robinson and takes his skin, and he looks exactly like Andrew Robinson. It's really sad, man. And of course Ashley Laurence is horrified about what's going on, and she basically tries to open the puzzle box. The story really isn't too complicated. It's pretty straight to the point, folks. It's got there's really not too many scenes to really talk about. You know, what I'm kind of explaining to you is basically what the movie is about. You know, it's basically a horror show. And so she basically opens the box herself because she can't figure out what this puzzle box is. And of course, she finds out that and of course, the Pinhead and the Cenobites come and I want to claim her too. Because if you open the box, folks, they claim you. You know, you have no choice. They'll rip you apart with the chains and the hooks and, you know, everything. Just like Frank and all the other people they've recruited for hundreds of years when they open the puzzle box. And so she basically kind of strikes a deal with Pinhead and the Son of Ice to deliver Frank back to them because they are not happy that he escaped hell and he's back, wreaking havoc again in the house, killing people and stuff because that's their job. You know, Pinhead and the Cenobites. So of course they strike a deal with her. So pretty much, and she basically tries to deliver Frank back to them so they can rip him apart again and send him back to hell where he belongs, because that's where he belongs, folks. He's just a complete sleazeball, man, this guy. And so is Julia, man. They both just get exactly what they deserve at the end, you know. Of course, you know, uh, so basically they basically get him up in the attic again, you know, because he's basically chasing Ashley Laurence up in the attic because he wants her. That's how much of a sleazeball he is. And of course the Cenobites are waiting for him. Of course they all, you know, you have to see the scene. The ending scene is pretty grisly. You know, he's just got hooks. His skin is being pulled every direction, and you know his whole body is just all bloody. And of course they rip him apart at the end and send him back to hell where he belongs. And you know, and of course Claire during the movie, of course, you know, there's one part where he actually kills Claire. Uh, Julia, his girlfriend. He basically takes some of her flesh or something, or her blood or whatever. He basically kills her, you know, and she's basically screwed up too at the end. You know, she basically is going through the same shit he's been through, of course, you know. And that's where the second movie actually takes place. You know, that's where it picks up. So, what kind of time? We're at 17 minutes here. It's not too bad. I think I'm making more. You know, I actually did record this one time earlier, but I think this is a better job I'm doing here. You know, and we'll show you a picture of this again. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, I love Pinhead, man. Pinhead rocks, man. There's Pinhead right there. Yeah. Anyway, so the movie pretty much ends the way it started. You know, Julie has basically been sent to hell, you know, for helping Frank, you know, evade the Cenobites and stuff and supply him with victims. And of course, Frank is back in hell where he belongs. He's a pervert in every sense of the word, you know. And of course, you know, the ending is pretty much basic, you know. There's really not much to talk about when it comes to the ending because the sequel kind of picks up where this one leaves off. So you'll have to watch number 2 and to understand what I'm talking about. Because Julie in the second one, basically, really shouldn't talk about that because that one's pretty grisly too, and involves a creepy doctor at a sane asylum in Julia. Of course, I'll talk about that at another time. It's really icky movie. Anyway, this movie is pretty decent. You know, I'm not a huge mega fan of. Well, I guess I am kind of a mega fan of the Hellraiser movies. I do like these movies, folks. I do like them, but they're, like I said, they're dark, depressing, gory, bloody. You know, they're nightmarish. How about that? That's a good word, nightmarish. I mean, you know, if I personally, like I said before, about 80 times before, I like Pinhead. You know, he's a guy that got caught up like Frank at the very beginning of his career too, and he basically got ripped apart and became Pinhead. You know, it's just a family guy, a soldier in World War I, stuff like that. So we're gonna rate this movie, and then we're gonna start talking about number 2 on the next webcast. So anyway, you take these movies for what they're worth. You know, they're basically either you love them or you hate them, folks. Either you love Clive Barker and this type of a dark, horrific, hellish vision, or you don't like them. But be forewarned, they are bloody, they are gory, and they are disgusting. And but we're gonna rate this movie. So I think I rated this number 7 spiderwebs out of 10 on my last botched webcast I just did like 10 minutes ago, and I'm doing over now because I feel like I'm doing a better job here. And so we're going to do a 7. We're going to do 7 out of 10 spider webs on this movie. And we will talk about number 2 probably in a couple days and stuff like that. Let's kind of get a non-reflective. There it is. Get my stupid Spidey thumb out of there. Yeah, there we go. Pretty good, huh? So 7 spider webs out of 10 for the first Hellraiser movie. And so that is my review for tonight. And I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, we're going to be doing these little movie clips as much as I possibly can. Try to give the viewer a sense of the movies that I'm reviewing. You know, just to make a half a minute, maybe the opening sequence or something. Just something to kind of give the viewer, what the hell is he talking about? Oh, that's what he's talking about. I remember that movie. That's the movie he's reviewing tonight. So we're going to be doing this on a regular basis. You know, I told you we were going to be doing this, and this is my very first webcast using my I think it's a 32-inch screen. I can't remember. It's a fairly small monitor. But I think you saw it pretty well because I actually was watching it on the... Of course, you see me standing here too like an idiot just explaining the beginning sequence. So anyway, we're going to end this tonight. And I hope you enjoyed this review. And tell me what you think about this new... you know, this little movie clips that we have going now. I'm kind of fascinated by this. I hope this will bring a whole new freshness to the webcast, give the people, all the viewers, a little more sense of what's going on, stuff like that. So we're going to call this over, and I will talk to you on the very next webcast. There we go. I'll just try to, maybe I'll just end it like this. Ooh, yeah, creepy, creepy, creepy. So you guys be careful. Be careful. What the hell am I talking about? You guys just watch yourself. I'm watching you. I'll whip you up. Anyway, we'll see you on the very next one, okay, folks? Until then, behave yourselves.